Okay, here's something disgusting, but not at all surprising considering the state of modern politics today, especially with the Republican Party. The Republican Party slinks back to Roy Moore. This is in The Atlantic, written by David A. Graham. A month after the first allegations of sexual misconduct against the U.S. Senate hopeful in Alabama, the GOP steps down from the moral high ground. Now remember, originally the allegations started coming out against Roy Moore, and the GOP leadership backed away from him. They denounced his candidacy, and today they got behind him 100% after Trump did, and they will officially be backing his candidacy. So, quoting later on, the article compares Trump's situation with his allegations with those of Roy Moore. In Trump's case, boasting about committing sexual assault. In Moore's case, multiple stories about him pursuing women under 18. In one case, allegedly committing felony crimes with a 14-year-old, and in another, allegedly sexually assaulting a 16-year-old. In both cases, the following few days produced even more allegations. In both cases, top Republicans fairly quickly expressed their disgust and withdrew their support. But eventually, Republicans came back to Trump, multiple office holders who said they couldn't, in good conscience, support him, had by election day quietly reversed their position and reaffirmed their support for the GOP nominee. Nor was Trump the first time this had happened. In 2012, after Senate candidate Todd Akin of Missouri said that women couldn't get pregnant in cases of legitimate rape, the party abandoned him. But it later became clear that the National Republican Senatorial Committee, whose chairman, Senator John Cornyn, had said there was no chance of a reversal, had quietly funneled $750,000 to Akin late in the race. So, yeah, as you can see, there's kind of escalating degrees of immorality being excused up to the point of having one of two major political parties in the United States back this Roy Moore guy who has allegations of sexual misconduct with children. And there's circumstantial evidence to back these allegations up too. Okay, so yeah, another parallel that I noticed is with Donald Trump. Access Hollywood proved that has higher standards for one of their reporters than the American people, with the President of the United States. And now, considering Roy Moore has been banned from a local mall because he was such a creep, we might see that a local mall in Alabama has higher standards than the U.S. Senate. Now, as disturbing as the allegations are against Roy Moore, what's also very disturbing is his history in policy-related settings as well. So there's a lot, and here's some of the bigger ones, the more headliner pieces. So in the 1990s, Moore was removed from Alabama's Supreme Court for planting a 5,000-pound Ten Commandments plaque in the Alabama Supreme Court building. So, clear case of breaking the realm of secularness that government's supposed to have in the U.S. because we have a separation of church and state. In 2012, Moore won his race again but he was removed once again after he disregarded the federal Supreme Court's decision banning state laws from banning gay marriage. So that's one of his racist. He's a bigoted guy. He's also racist and misogynistic, and most likely a child molester. Yeah, so he's really just. It really appears that Roy Moore is just a really scummy human being. And going further in my notes, Moore has stated that homosexual parents are unfit for custody of a child, which is ironic that Moore is advocating for the safety of children out of all people. Okay. Moore also stated that homosexual conduct by parents is detrimental to the children's well-beings. He has stated that homosexual conduct is considered abhorrent, immoral, detestable, a crime against nature, and a violation of the laws of nature and of nature's God upon which this nation and our laws are predicated. That's part of an actual Roy Moore quote. He has many scary quotes, which is possibly an understatement. He also is very stupid. Roy Moore has also stated that Illinois has Sharia law. Yep. And another reminder that Roy Moore is extremely racist. He has expressed doubt to Obama's qualifications as being a natural born citizen. So obviously he bought into that whole racist birtherism nonsense. And oh yeah, recently in an attempt to discredit the Washington Post, it was a good chance that it was someone from Roy Moore's camp set up robocalls as a fake Washington reporter named Bernie Bernstein, essentially saying that they would pay money for allegations of sexual misconduct against Roy Moore, and that they won't fact check it or anything. They essentially tried to pose as the Washington Post and tried to portray them as not verifying any of the allegations that they collected. And he did so while stoking pretty blatant anti-Semitism. So, yeah. It's really sad because Roy Moore is currently up in the polls right now. And of course, Trump says Trump says Roy Moore's Democratic challenger, Doug Jones, is soft on crime. Of course, Doug Jones prosecuted members of the KKK, and the candidate that Trump says is going to be tough on crime is an actual criminal of the worst variety. And there's your modern Republican Party.